So yeah, this is my biography of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It was originally published in 1813, and it's her second novel that she wrote behind Sense and Sensibility. But it's probably the one that's had more significance in my opinion. And it's her favorite. It's her favorite of her own book. She states it's like a darling child. So this copy is the Penguin Books reprint of it. It's you can bend it here like this, so it's a paperback. It's soft cover. Um, Yeah, and so if we open up the book, first page we get a biography of the author, Jane Austen. Turn it over and there's our title page. Turn it over and there's our copyrights page. All the different, Penguin books and the reprinting and stuff like that. Then if we look here, it states volume 1, and that shows that this book's written in more than one volume. Pride and Prejudice has 3 volumes that separate the book. And those volumes are separated by chapters. And so here's the start of the book. That's where the story begins. So here's the text block. So that's from the start to the end of the book. So our text block. If we close the cover, we get our foredge there. That's our blurbs here on the back. We've got our spine, and yeah. So that's the book. This version of the book is it's pretty new. It's relatively new. As it says on the copyrights page, it's, only published in 2008, but I only got this copy last year, so there's not much wear and tear on it. It's pretty well taken care of, just apart from here on the spine, just from how I hold books. It's just worn out a bit. But yeah, so obviously the 2008 isn't the original printing of it. As I said earlier, the original printing was 1813. And that was, published by Thomas Egerton from Whitehall, which is what I found on the internet. So yeah, it's 200 years old, which is a pretty long time. And in that time it sold about 20 million copies, which is the equivalent of about 100,000 copies each year. And yeah. So because it's 200 years old, it's actually got some significance to it culturally. If you can first see that by even just looking on eBay. So here on eBay, all I did was type in Pride and Prejudice book, and you get not only do you get multiple copies of it, different covers and everything, but you even get sequels and remakes and parodies and whatnot. So there's a zombie version of it. There's a different cover. There's another different cover. There's a different cover. And then, you go up, there's the top here is an unofficial sequel. So for a book, so it's got a fair few covers and remakes, and it's got different covers as well. So here, this page shows us even more. So there's another different cover of it, that's quite an old one. You go down, here's the first unofficial sequel, second impressions. If you go down even more, there's the zombie version of it, which is just the story of it with zombies added into it. And then, we got Bridget Jones's Diary, which is based off Pride and Prejudice heavily, and that's been turned into a movie. Even today, this book still has a lot of significance. So some of those remakes might have been a bit older, but even today, we got, in 1995, there was a TV series based on Pride and Prejudice. In 2005, there was a movie based on Pride and Prejudice, and just last year on YouTube, there was a YouTube series based on Pride and Prejudice. It's even today, even 200 years later, it's still very, very culturally significant. It's, pretty well read. If you go onto Goodreads, we can see some of the reviews. So here, the average review here is 4.24 out of 5. Which is pretty high, and that's based on over 1 million people have rated that, and that's the average, which is pretty impressive. You can tell it's still popular even in the age of the internet. Google Books also backs that up. It hasn't got as many reviews, but it's still got about 4.5 stars there. If we look over here, we can see some of the reviews. So you get 575 people have given it 5 stars. And then 149 are giving it 4 stars. So you can see that there's a huge difference between the high ratings and the low ratings. So it still remains quite popular even today. Yeah, so that's Pride and Prejudice. Cool.